This is what it sounds like when a fairy tale explodes.
Breaking news. Temple students became easy targets to an armed robbery when police say they left their off-campus housing unlocked. Action News reporter Catherine Scott is live in North Philadelphia. She's been following the story all morning and she's got the very latest. Good morning.
Good morning, Tam. That's right. This was a terrifying ordeal for these victims. They tell me that they're they don't feel safe staying in their home anymore. They actually went to go sleep at a friend's. And if you take a look down the street, you can see that it's quiet here now. Police were here overnight at the 1800 block of North Bouvier Street in North Philadelphia. The house is just a few blocks from Temple's campus. A number of students live around here. It was around 2 a.m. Police say 3 armed men walked through the unlocked front door. They were wearing masks and all black clothing. One of the victims told me that he was hanging out with 2 friends. They'd come back from a bar about a half an hour, 45 minutes earlier, and they actually thought that the front door was locked. 2 other roommates were upstairs in their rooms at the time, so the victims thought they heard a noise. They thought nothing of it at first. Then a few seconds later, the door of the basement flung open. The men screamed for them to get down. They kept asking where the money was. They flipped the room, taking iPhones, wallets, cash, keys, a laptop, video game consoles, and debit cards.
They had us to the ground, and the one dude had a knife to my back, and then at one point they even stood me up, put me on my knees, and told me, like, where's the stuff? We know there's stuff in your room. And I'm like, I'm serious, guys. Like, if you want to do something, do it to me. Like, I have nothing in this room to give you. Like, you took what I have. And then, like, the entire time they were just holding a knife to my back, and then at one point, like, the kid had a gun to my head.
It's amazing how often we see this. That when we see a story involving black on white crime and predictable black violence against white people like this story, the reporters always start the story out with the excuse before the story begins. So this story started out with, well, they left their door unlocked and look what happened. Well, the central organizing feature of this act of violence against those white students was not the unlocked door. It was the presence of black people targeting white students at Temple, a story we have covered over and over and over, not just in the violence, but also in the denial. I think my favorite story from Temple that we've done over the year, it got me kicked off somebody's Twitter feed, was they hired a professor from, like, I think it was University of Wisconsin. She was known for, she's like the ultimate down with the cause professor. She's the one that looks like Lena Dunham. And she's the one, she actually like started a GoFundMe page for Michael Brown. And when she did that, everybody thought she was like the world's greatest professor. Anyway, they hired her at Temple because she's the one that's supposed to come down here and explain all this white racism to everybody. Explain why, this white racism is driving black people to target white people in and around Temple University and how it's been happening for a long, long time. But at some point we have to ask if the people involved are victims or volunteers. Now, if you want to go to Temple University, that's the kind of thing you're probably going to start thinking about a good year and a half before you show up on campus. I mean, you have to take the SATs. A lot of people take them when they're juniors. You have to forward them onto your school, so you got a good 18 months. During that 18-month period, you're going to talk to everybody and their cousin about where you're going to school. Oh, you getting ready for college? Where are you going to go? If you say somewhere like the University of Penn State, up in State College, they'll say, oh, great, that's a great campus. But if you say you want to go to Temple, they'll stop and they'll kind of look at you and try to figure out the best way to wonder what the hell you're doing, thinking about going to school in such a dangerous place. Some people will say, oh, that's good. I hear it's very diverse there, but is it safe? I mean, people will ask you that question over and over and over. And then if you're an 18-year-old kid who wants to go to Temple, you're 17, 18, 16, and same with your parents. I mean, they're all going to give the same answer. No, it's very diverse, and they have a great program in fill in the blank. They have a great program in fill in the blank. It's very safe there. And if you ask, well, why does Temple have the largest police department of any university in the world? You go, well, that's just overstated by those guys in the press. Well, isn't it dangerous at Temple? Aren't white kids just targets of the black people who live in that neighborhood? Doesn't that happen very often at Temple? No, not really. Besides, I'm not going to live in fear. Why don't you want to live in fear? Because all that would do is make the black kids angry.